devices and prove them. If you are one of my close to 2 million subscribers or viewers, you already know that I'm a huge advocate for free energy and its role in saving us from fossil fuel, which is just killing our planet. There are tons of videos of people building these devices every day, so let's just jump into building them and the science behind them. But under one condition: don't just watch this halfway and leave as a believer or non-believer. You have to watch this to the end to be able to make a solid conclusion. Especially since I'll announce the Keysight scope giveaway at the end. First off, we see this man using a few magnets in his design and coil some wire around the rod magnets. Between the two magnets, there is enough energy created to turn on a fluorescent light wirelessly. Of course, this is a simple concept. We all know that magnets hold potential magnetic energy that we just need to convert into electric energy. I don't have the exact same magnets, but I think I can do better. See, I have two bigger magnets like this that are connected to a series of smaller magnets, and so the field of the big magnet is focused through the rod magnet. And the tiny magnets have alternating magnetic fields north-south, north-south. Now I'm going to slide some coil on top of the rod magnet. And as we know, magnetic field passing through a coil creates electricity. Especially here that I have alternating magnetic fields amplified by the field coming from the big magnet. The large alternating fields create large AC energy across the coil, which doesn't have anywhere to go, and so the unloaded voltage across the coil just rises significantly. With my setup, one of these would be enough, but the two would make a more uniform electric field at the center. As I've shown in my previous videos, a fluorescent light in proximity with high voltage starts to glow, because very high voltage excites the mercury vapor in the bulb and creates light.
Hello everybody.
In the next video, we have a few wires wound and coiled in a specific way to help capture the available electricity in the atmosphere. When magnets inserted into the coil, it focuses the captured energy enough to power a circuit. Of course, we know there is around 100 volts of potential voltage in the atmosphere per every meter of distance from Earth, as stated in the great Professor Feynman's lectures in Caltech University, with up to 400,000 volts from Earth to the top of the atmosphere. 100 volt per meter is huge. All we need is a proper antenna like this to pick those floating charges to create a power source. And again, we have our alternating magnetic fields in the coil to start a resonance with the captured atmospheric energy to provide a strong AC voltage. Here I'm using a low power LED light because still the captured energy is not that huge, and if I insert the magnets into the coils, as soon as it starts resonating, there, we have a shining light. Now there are different ways to wind wires around magnets for the same result. Like in this video, we have a different combination of windings and magnet form factor. But as you see, in most cases we need a pair of magnets to maximize the resonance. Here I kind of did the same thing, two big magnet piles on both sides of a bunch of tiny alternating magnets and a coil around them. And if I'm careful not to shock myself, I should be able to turn it on. There you go. Another method is to also add the available acoustic energy in the air to the mix. There is noise in the air, so we might as well use it. This guy uses a speaker and a coil around the base of the lamp to do this in a simple way. I also put a coil around the base of my lamp, connecting it to the contacts. Here I have a bigger speaker with a similar inductor soldered to its output. Of course, the speaker has its own coil and magnet that creates electricity with the acoustic vibrations, which is amplified by this additional inductor. Now, like a step-up transformer, the high voltage energy from this primary coil is transferred to the secondary coil around the lamp if they are close enough, and the lamp turns on like this.
Did you ever dream about having free electricity for the rest of your life?
Here, as many have done it, we have the looping cables of the power bar generating energy. It seems it is feeding energy into itself, which is a wrong assumption. When we have an extension cord like this looping into itself, we are creating an inductor. If I zap the prong with a burst of energy, I'm sending a very short pulse of current through the wire. The current going through the loop generates a magnetic field with a direction that follows the right-hand rule, and the field generated from one loop penetrates all the loops. So like an auto transformer, one loop of primary can generate much higher voltage on multiple loops of secondary. And imagine the same current is running through every loop, so each loop has the same effect on the entire coil, which means much higher energy compared to the initial spark. such that it can turn on a light. And then of course we see some people like this kid being able to turn a lamp on from the energy generated through his body. We all are electric eel. We also know that our nerves and muscles work with electric impulses. So the light is turning on is because I'm hiding my Tesla coil under the table. Ow! This is the source of the high voltage that's turning the lamp on, not the magnets. Electric, magnetic, or gravity fields in a stationary object are stationary. They don't move or stream out. Only when a magnet moves, it sends waves of magnetic field through the universe that can create electricity through a coil. So a stationary magnet with respect to coil doesn't. Beloved German engineer, Great Scott, or and there is a bit of monthly Patreon appreciation going on at patreon.com.